Hello kids. Unfortunately the live video that I did for Akvariouslive did not get saved, so I'm re-recording this story. I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully it'll be better than the previous story. So nothing really lost. Thanks again to Akvariouslive for this opportunity. There'll be other videos as well. I'm gonna speak a little faster so I can make this a 15-minute video. Okay. Kids, we're going to go to the story right now. But first, make sure your parents are paying attention. In fact, right now, look at them and tell them, Mom or Dad, pay attention. And secondly, kids, look at me. I want you to tell them, listen. If you have to tell your parent that if you make a mistake or if you don't know anything, it's okay. Why? Because sometimes we don't know everything, right? And sometimes we all make mistakes. I make a mistake, you make a mistake, your parents might make a mistake, who knows what. So right now, look at your parent and say, it's okay if you don't know anything or if you make a mistake. Okay? Why? Because we're going to do a few exercises that I want the parents and you to be involved in. So please be involved with the exercises, and I hope you enjoy this story. So, moving along to this story, I'm going to do a story called Alfi Blows Bubbles by a lovely gentleman called Tony Moon, a very nice man in UK who gave me permission to use this story, because it's always nice to ask permission before you use someone else's stuff, right? So yeah, thank you Tony Moon. He has lots of other stories on his website, so please visit it. Here's the story, Alfi Blows Bubbles. Alright, so there was this young boy called Alfi, and he was blowing lots of bubbles, soap bubbles. I love soap bubbles. And he blew soap bubbles of various sizes. Let's all make a soap bubble with our hands, okay? This is how I'm going to make it. Maybe you might have a different kind. So use your own ideas. Don't use mine. My ideas might not be as good as your ideas. So this is a soap bubble that I'm making with my hands. Alright, this is my soap bubble. And like I mentioned, Alfie, this young boy, was blowing soap bubbles of various sizes. He blew large ones. Let's make a large soap bubble, and show it to your parents. Parents also do this. Show it to your child. Everyone has to participate. Make a huge, bigger bubble. A bigger. Oh my goodness, that's something. And Alfie was also blowing smaller bubbles. Let's make a smaller bubble. Small. So let's make it smaller. Smaller. Whew. Okay, so Alfie was having fun blowing all these bubbles, and these bubbles were traveling to various places. It was going this way. Let's go take it this way. And remember, bubbles, do they travel like airplanes? Do they travel like horses? No. They travel, they glide. So let's see you control your arms. Let's see how well you control your arms. This way, that way, up. It went above the buildings also. So let's see you take your bubble straight up to the top. Let's see you stretch those hands. Oh my God, really high. And some bubbles came down. They descended. They came down towards the ground. And a lot of these bubbles burst over the flowers. There were lots of flowers. So let's see your bubbles burst. Yeah, you can make sounds also when you burst. Let's see your bubbles burst. And let's see your bubbles burst again on the count of 3, okay? When I count to 3, burst your bubbles and make a huge sound. 1, 2, 3. That was fun. So Alfie was blowing all these bubbles. Now, like I said, bubbles were bursting over flowers. Now, here's a little exercise for you. I want you to discuss with your parent. And it doesn't matter if you get the answers wrong or right. What are soap bubbles made of? I'm going to give you 7 seconds. Go ahead and think of the answer. Ding! I'm going to, in the meanwhile, look for a mosquito. Don't get distracted. What are soap bubbles made of? Okay, I'm sorry I was distracting you all. Okay, caught that mosquito. Anyways, some of you may have come up with answers. If you didn't have an answer, that's totally fine. Soap bubbles, I think, are made of soap and water. So imagine if a large soap bubble the size of a hippopotamus is above your head. Just imagine a large soap bubble the size of a hippopotamus over your head, and it bursts. What's going to fall down on you? Soap and water. And is that a pleasant thing? I'm not sure. Now, the soap bubbles were bursting on these flowers. There were some insects on the flowers. Do you think you can think of the kinds of insects that visit flowers? Oh, that's another exercise. So right now, I'm going to give you 7 seconds. I want you to think of the kind of insects that visit flowers. Okay, go. I'm going to say ding and start thinking. Ready? Ding. I'm going to start exercising. Keep exercising. What kind of insects? What kind of insects visit flowers? Okay. Must always exercise and stay healthy so that you keep diseases at bay. Okay. So now, some of you may have said butterflies. Some of you may have said cockroaches. Yeah. That's okay. Maybe cockroaches visit flowers. Who knows? But in our story, the insects that we were talking about are bees. There were 2 bees on these flowers. Yeah. So let's get back to the story. Now, as I said, bubbles are bursting over these bees. They were not very happy. They were very angry. Show me your angry face. And now show your angry face to your parent and tell them and look like as if you're telling them to clean their rooms. Have you cleaned your rooms? Look at your parents. Okay, now back to the story. So these bees were getting angrier and angrier. And you know what? Why they were getting angry? Not just because they were getting wet and dirty with the soap, but also because their work was getting disturbed. Yes, they had work, just like how your parents might have work, just like how you have homework also. If you get distracted, then you won't be able to complete your work. Then you won't be able to play or spend time with your families, right? Even people who come to cook for you or the people who come to clean for your house, if you disturb their work, they won't be able to go home for their families. They won't be able to go home and relax. So these bees were getting disturbed and they were not able to finish their work. And what was their work? Their work was to make honey. Oh, do you know how to make honey? How the bees make honey? I know. I didn't know it before, but I researched it. I checked on Google and now I know how bees make honey. It's fascinating. Let me tell you. First, the bee takes nectar, nectar, from the flower. It sucks out the nectar like this. Well, it doesn't use a straw. This must be wrong. But it takes nectar out of the flower, just like how you sip juice out of a bottle, and the nectar goes into their special honey stomach. Okay, so that's their food, just like how you eat food. Now the bee then meets another bee. Now I have to digress. I have to divert for 1 second here. We have all seen how parent birds feed their babies. You know, they eat food first. The bird eats food first, then it goes to their baby, then it brings up the food and feeds that food back to the baby. Yeah, it might sound yucky to you, but that's how nature works, and it's just normal. Okay, so the mummy or the daddy bird will grab the food and feed the baby. In the same way, the bee that had the nectar, it brings up the nectar again and feeds it to another bee. Okay, and that bee takes the nectar and it goes into the stomach and it changes, just like how you eat food like vada pav or sandwiches or ice cream, or you shouldn't eat too much of ice cream. The food goes into your body and it becomes part of your body. It makes you healthy, it gives you nutrients. So one bee gives the nectar to another bee, this bee gives to another bee, and it gives to another bee, and the nectar keeps getting changed and changed and changed until finally the nectar becomes honey. That's how honey is made by the bees. Oh, I didn't know that. Anyway, so like I said, these bees were getting very irritated. They decided, you know what, we're gonna stop this little kid from doing these bubbles. They decided to burst all the bubbles that the kid was blowing. So they decided to burst all the bubbles with their stinger. The stinger is a sharp thing that they have on their backside. So they poked with their backside all the bubbles. So Alfi was blowing a bubble, blow a bubble with me, and the bee would come and poke it. Now here's an exercise. Let's see you pretend to have a stinger on your back and poke. You have to pretend your parent is the bubble. So poke them with the bubble when I say go. 1, 2, 3. Ding, sting. Very good. Now let's move back to the story. So they started bursting the bubbles left, right, and center. But Alfi, instead of getting sad, he got more excited and he started bursting the bubble and he started blowing more bubbles. Then the bees also started bursting more bubbles. But then they got tired. And they went back and stayed on the on the they got tired and went back and into the flower and they got tired. The bees got tired and went back to the flower. And meanwhile, Alfie had blown such a large bubble that it had grown so high, and it took him up. This bubble took him all the way up. Oh my goodness! So the bees got angry. They said, "Wow, this boy has become a bee now. He's going to steal on our honey. We're going to shout at him." So the bees went to Alfie and they said, "Listen, young man, stop doing this. We're going to burst your bubble." Alfie said, "No, no, no, don't burst my bubble. If you burst my bubble, I'll fall down. Help me out." So the bees thought about it. They decided to sit on the bubble to make the bubble heavier so Alfie would come back down. But did that happen? No! Unfortunately, there was sunlight. There was sunlight. The sunlight was heating up the air in the bubble. And because when air gets hot, it becomes lighter. So Alfie started going up even higher. So then they needed to think of another idea. Then the bees said, "Oh, we need clouds. I have an idea." But there were no clouds in the sky. So then they started thinking again, what should we do? Oh my goodness. Oh, they had another idea. We'll make a cloud. So one of the bees went, and soon they heard a huge noise. Bzzz. Let's have bee noises. Bzzz. It was a huge cloud that they could see coming, but it was a huge black cloud. What was it? How did this cloud suddenly come? What had happened is that the bee called all its bee friends and started gathering one by one and started forming this huge cloud, just like how I am doing it. A huge cloud that blocked the sun. Imagine my face is the sun, and all the sunlight was being blocked. Then the air became cool, and the balloon started coming. The bubble started coming back down. Let's see you bring your bubble back down, back down, back down. And Alfie came back down to the garden. Everyone was so happy. Alfie actually sneezed because there was some pollen. Pollen is a slight grain-like thing in flowers. He sneezed. But wait, don't sneeze into your hands, or only sneeze if you have a handkerchief, or if you don't have a handkerchief, sneeze into your shoulder. So let's all sneeze together. 1, 2, 3. Achoo! Okay, so now the bees. He sneezed. Alfie had a great sneeze. He blew all the pollen all over the place, but the bees weren't angry. They took all the pollen and they went back, because pollen is also important for bees. And they were at peace with Alfie. And Alfie looked around and said, "My goodness, what a journey and adventure I had. I went all the way up. The bees helped me. They did not fight with me." And that's the end of our story. I hope this story was interesting for you, parents and child. Please let me know if you didn't like it. I also have a YouTube page coming up where I'll put this story also. Shaun Williams Teacher Life. And also be sure to follow Akvariouslive for other stories as well for grown-ups. It's great fun. It's really nice in this story also to note that, so child, I'd like you to think about this. The bees got angry, right? Did they fight with Alfie? What did they do to solve the situation? So what will you do if you're angry sometimes? Can we fight about it? Can we solve a situation? Think about those situations. All right. So I'm sorry I had to rush this video a bit. I apologize for that because I had to keep the video to a minimum of 15 minutes. But at the same time, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a few things. Also, I learned so many things from learning this, preparing for this story. I had to prepare a lot. So thank you very much for watching. Please do follow Akvariouslive, and please do visit my page, Shaun Williams Teacher Life on YouTube. And hope to see you, and maybe I'll conduct a lesson for you sometimes. Please reach out to me for that. Thank you, kids. You rock. Take care. Bye.